children, very good morning. Hope you are doing fine and also following all the videos which are being posted in the group. Okay children, so basically yesterday we have learnt about the platyhelminthes, nematohelminthes and annelida. So today what we are going to see is the Arthropoda, right? Arthropoda is also a phylum in the animal kingdom, right? So basically this is the largest group of the animals. This is the group where you can see n number of animals, largest group of animals with number of species, right? So that's why that's the first point I've written here, that is it's the largest group of animals, and the animals which are there in this group are also bilaterally symmetrical. Already we know the term bilaterally symmetrical. I'm not repeating that anymore. So it is bilaterally symmetrical. And also the third point is that they are having segments on the body. So the body is segmented. That means the body is divided into segments. You can see the ring-like structures on them. So you can find the segments on them. So what are the animals which are present here? No, like they are segmented. Fourth one is they have the open circulatory system. So now we have to understand what is open circulatory system and what is the closed circulatory system. Now for example, if this is a heart, okay, in human beings, like the heart, it pumps the blood and the blood will go into the blood vessels, and these blood vessels will differentiate into very small blood capillaries and goes to the tissues and the cells. Again, whatever the wastage, that is carbon dioxide which is produced here, again that will be taken back to the heart so that it can purify that by sending into the lungs. So that means wherever you go, the blood either flows into the blood vessels, goes to the cells and tissues, again comes back to the blood vessels, again goes to the lungs with the help of a blood vessel, again comes back to the heart. So there is no place where it is completely open. So it is completely closed. The blood vessels, the lungs and also heart, all these are completely closed and they will not let the blood go out of the body. So that is how it is completely a closed circulatory system. But whereas when you see the insects and all, like that means the largest group of animals which you are seeing here is the insects. They will have the open circulatory system. That is, whatever the blood which is there, that will be that will be sent into the cavity which is present in the body of the insect. For example, if you take a cockroach or something, so whatever the cavity which is inside is the coelomic cavity, right? So in the coelomic cavity, so whatever the blood which is there in the body, that will be pumped into the coelomic cavity. So here the blood will come into the coelomic cavity and again it will be taken back to the heart. So that's why it is called as the open circulatory system, because there are no particular blood vessels which carry them to each and every cell of the body. So the tracheal tubes and all the which are there in the cockroach, they will take care of them. So that is a different point. We'll discuss it later. But now, for now, so it is directly sent into the coelomic cavity. That's why it is a closed circulatory system over here. And the next point is now n number of insects are present in this, right? For example, you can take the prawns which live in the water, okay, and then butterflies, then crabs, then cockroaches, then scorpions, then spiders. All of them are the best examples of the Arthropoda. Now we'll try to understand the term Arthropoda. Now if you see the legs and all know of an ant, of a spider, okay, either if they are 8 legs or a 6-legged animal, insects also, you can see that they are joined in one particular place, right? So they are joined, right? So here arthro in the sense joint and poda in the sense legs. So basically Arthropoda means joint legs. So whatever the insects, right, which have the joint legs, like where their legs are completely joined to each other, they come under this particular classification, that is Arthropoda. So this is the largest group. They are bilaterally symmetrical. Their body is differentiated into segments. They have the open circulatory system where the blood is directly sent into the coelomic cavity because they don't have the blood vessels and a perfect circulatory system. And the best examples you can take is the prawns, butterflies, crabs, cockroaches and scorpions and spiders. All these are the examples where you can take them into the Arthropoda. And the last point is Arthropoda means arthro is joint, poda is legs. So combinedly we call it as joint legs. Okay, children. So by this we come to the end of the Arthropoda. Okay, now we'll get into the next phylum, which is called as Mollusca. Okay. Right, children, now we'll talk about the mollusca, the phylum Mollusca. So mollusca, if you see the mollusca, the best example what you can take is a snail. Okay, oyster, mussels. Now, if you have seen a snail and all, no, like it has a very soft body, right? Isn't it? The body is very soft. If you have touched a snail, or if you have seen the snail coming out of a shell and walking, no, like if you touch it, no, that will be absolutely very, very, very soft. So that's why these are the soft bodied animals. That's the first thing. Right, coming to the second one is these organisms are also bilaterally symmetrical. At the same time, they are also triploblastic. That is, the cells will have the three layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Okay, so bilaterally symmetrical, at the same time they are also triploblastic. Okay, and here the segmentation, like it will be very, very little. Okay, they are not completely segmented, so segmentation is very, very little, hardly you can see kind of segmentation. Okay, and next is these organisms have the open circulatory system. Okay, the same kind of circulatory system which you have seen in the arthropods, right? The same arthropods are the open circulatory system. So here also we'll see the open circulatory system. Okay, and the next one is the kidneys are there and they are used for the excretion. So here till now we did not see the kidneys, right? So in all the other groups and all other phylums and all, we did not see the kidneys, but whereas here they have the kidneys and they use the kidneys for the excretion, and also they have very good digestive system. They have a very good digestive system, and they have a very good respiratory system. With the help of gills, okay, with the help of the gills they will respire. They will have the pulmonary sac, they will respire with their body surface. Pulmonary sac is a separate respiratory organ in them, gills are the respiratory organs, and even the body surface is also respiratory organ for them. They respire with all those things. So that is about the excretion, respiration and digestion. So excretory system, digestive system and also the respiratory system are well built in this molluscans. Okay, and when you come to the color of the blood, like unlike human beings, like human beings, the blood is red in color. That is because of the pigment called as hemoglobin, right? Hemoglobin is a pigment which is actually helping the blood to be in which color? Red color. At the same time it is transporting the oxygen. Okay, so now coming to the snails and all, like the blood is in blue color. Okay, if you have seen the arthropoda, the blood is basically white in color, right? If you suddenly sometimes you happen to stamp on the cockroaches or you kill the cockroach and all, the white color fluid comes out, no, isn't it? Okay, that white color fluid is nothing but the blood of the cockroach, because it doesn't contain any pigments. The complete blood is absolutely without the pigments, and that's the reason why the blood is completely in which color? White color, and our blood is red in color. That is because of the presence of the pigment which is called as the hemoglobin. But whereas when you come to the snail, the blood is in which color? Blue color, and this is because of the presence of a pigment which is called as the pigment is called as the hemocyanin. It's called as the hemocyanin. So this hemocyanin is the pigment which is present in the blood of the snail, which makes the blood look in which color? Blue color. Okay, children. So now when you come to the foot, there is a foot at the ventral side with which it will move from one place to the other places, right? Actually the body is divided into three parts. One is the head, one is the massy part, and the third one is the foot. So the foot is also a part of its body with which it will locomote, right? The locomotory organ of the mollusca is the foot. So they move from one place to the other place. Even you might have seen in the aquariums, they move on the glass, isn't it? So that is only because of the foot it has, right? The best examples you can take is the snails, mussels, and the oysters. And oysters are those ones from where the pearls are removed, right? So we have learned in the 8th class that how pearls are taken out and how we make the artificial pearls and all, no? Like, so this is all about the mollusca, the phylum which is called as the mollusca, right? So soft bodied animals, bilateral symmetrical, triplo, blast. Okay, children, now we will talk about the next phylum which is called as the Echinodermata. So unlike the molluscans, they live in the marine water. In the sense, molluscans and negro, they live in the marine water as well as in the fresh water, right? So but whereas when you come to these echinoderms and all, so they, especially you take the example of the starfishes and the sea urchins, so both of them like to live in the marine water, so only the salt water. So you might have seen the snails in the aquariums also. That means they can live in the fresh water. So but whereas you cannot put a starfish in a regular water which we use, so they only live in the salt water, that is the sea water or the ocean water. Okay, and most of these organisms are bilaterally symmetrical. At the same time, they also have the triploblastic cells, that is they have the 3 layers. Okay, and when you come to the word echinodermata, echin, that means the spines, derm in the sense skin, right? So spines which have the skin are called as echinoderms. Okay, that's why the phylum is named as Echinodermata. That means the animals which have the spines or on the skin are classified into this particular phylum. Okay, so that is what is about the Echinodermata, right? The word which is called as Echinodermata. So when you see the outer side, like the skeleton which is present inside the body, that is made up of the calcium carbonate. That's why we call it as the calcareous skeleton, which is made up of the calcium carbonate. So that makes the skeleton a bit hard. And already we have seen that they are having the triploblastic cells and all, like, and also they will have the nice coelomic cavity. Okay, and what basically they have is the if you see the starfishes and all, no, they have a ring-like structure here. Okay, and then there are some tubular canals here like this, which are called as the radial canals, where the water is transferred to each and every part of the bodies, because they live in the water. So these are the canals which are called as the radial canals, which are connected to this ring-like structure here, where the water passes into each and every tentacle. So that is how the water system is water-driven system is present in the echinoderms, especially in the starfishes. And they will have the tube feet, in the sense, if you see here this particular thing, okay, they'll have some tube-like structures like this, with which they can move. So that is how they usually move. And when you come to this organism, the head is distinct. That means head is not distinct. You cannot see the head properly. And second thing is that even the brain is also absent. That's why we call it as the brainless animal. Basically, these echinoderms are called as the brainless animals because the brains are usually absent here. And the next point is that they don't have the segmented body. It is absolutely unsegmented body. And next is that they have the power of regeneration. That means if any certain part is cut, if there's any loss of certain part, they can regenerate that particular part. That is how they have the power of regeneration. So basically these are the points which we can discuss in the echinodermata. So echinodermata, they are marine animals. They live in salt water. They are bilaterally symmetrical and also shows the triploblastic cells. They have the spines on the body. That's why the skin has spines, so that's why it's called as the echinodermata. It is a calcareous skeleton, that is skeleton which is made up of the calcium carbonate, okay, and they have the coelomic cavity, and they have the water driven system with the radial canals and all. So they locomote with the help of the tube feet, and they respire with the help of the gills, and also they have the power of regeneration. They can regenerate the parts if they are lost. Okay, so these are all the different characters which you can see in the Echinodermata. Is it fine, children? Okay, shall we go to the next? Okay. Okay, children, now we will go ahead with the Prochordata. We'll go ahead with the Prochordata. Prochordata is also a phylum of animal kingdom. So the animals, the organisms, like they are marine animals, right? They live in the marine water, that is in the salt water. Now we will see the characters of the Prochordates, right? So the first thing is that they are bilaterally symmetrical. Okay, if you cut into two parts, identically similar, and they are these triploblastic cells and all, that is they have the three layers. And the third one is that they have the notochord. So for example, now just let me draw a imaginary diagram here. Now for example, just assume that this is the nervous system. Okay, this is the gut part, this is the gut, and this is the nervous system. So here the notochord is present in between them. The notochord is present in between them, which is a long rod-like structure which will separate the nervous system from the gut. So this gut is separated from nervous system because of this notochord. So few animals which are prochordates, so they have this kind of notochord present in them. So here you can take and one more thing is that this particular notochord, it will help in attachment of the muscles, so that this particular organisms can move very easily. So for the easy movement, okay, this notochord will help in attaching the muscles. So the muscles are attached to the notochord, so that with the help of these muscles, the organisms can easily locomote. They can move from one place to the other place. Okay, and next is that the balanoglossus and herdsmania are the balanoglossus and Hersmania are the two examples of protochordates. So these are the different characters of the protochordates. You can see here they are bilaterally symmetrical, and also they are triploblastic in nature. They have the notochord, which is dividing the gut, and the nervous system, which is a long rod-like structures onto which the muscles are attached, so that they can move from one place to the other. It helps in the movement of the organism. Okay, and then these are the examples here. One is the balanoglossus and second one is the Hersmania. These are the examples, okay, of prochordates. So that is how we come to the end of today's topic, and tomorrow, that is in the next session, we are going to learn about the chordata, right, which is a very, very important part in which we are placed. So that is what we are going to see in the next session. So stay tuned. Until then, see you all. Have a great day. Goodbye.